Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I have a very important update for all of you regarding Beverage and the SEC. If you guys are familiar with Beverage, I've been covering this story now for about a good year and a half, and they were sued by the SEC, or I'm sorry, the SEC for fraud. And so this company was a female-owned company, three ladies, Catherine Durden, Shannon Shelby, something like that. I know her name is Shelby, and also Lupe Rose. All of them are located within Lancaster, Palmdale, Antelope Valley. And so they defrauded a lot of people out of millions of dollars. I think the total amount is somewhere around maybe 23 million. And so the SEC, I keep getting those mixed up. The SEC filed a lawsuit against them and trying to, well, basically for fraud. They operated without a license. There were a lot of things they didn't do. They didn't list all of the investors, and they made people believe that they were the sole owners of the company. However, if you are an investor and you invested, I think 7 or 10%, then you are also an owner. However, you aren't listed on the Secretary of State's website, which you guys can reference that video, which you should be. Now, as far as I know, the SEC is still looking into this, but apparently they have hit a snag. If you guys have been following this, the SEC is trying to take them to court. I believe it's scheduled for, I think, somewhere between January to April of next year. And so this was the latest opinion, dated October 31st. And so their attorneys withdrew. Now, it takes a lot for an attorney to withdraw. Attorneys typically don't just take on a case, claim your innocence, and then move on or anything like that. But in order for them to withdraw from the case, they must know something is up. Something is definitely not adding up. And so the SEC is also arguing that this is nothing more than just a delay tactic. Now, I'm going to leave links of this website regarding the case in the video description so you guys can reference it for your own materials. But they've screwed a lot of people out of money. I'm talking about millions of dollars. There have been people that have invested $75,000, $25,000, $5,000, people who invested a couple of $100s. And these are people all over the nation, all over the world, people in Hawaii. And then, of course, you also had the Women's Football League. They also got screwed out of their stuff as well. And supposedly they're supposed to start up a women's football league, but a lot of those women went and started their own league. So Lupe Rose and some other guy, I think I've mentioned his name before, his name slips my mind. They were talking about still starting up this football league, which is still owned by Beverage. But aside from that, this is the notice on October 21st, 2017. Larson, who was the attorney for Beverage, filed a motion to withdraw as attorneys of record for Beverage and request for approval of submission for Lupe Rose. Let's see, for Lupe Rose, I think, I'm not sure if Kat Durden or Shelby had their own individual lawyer, but this particular lawyer representing Lupe Rose is withdrawing from the case. Now, the judge gave them an additional 30 days to find a new lawyer, which would have been somewhere around Thanksgiving. It says here in this revised opposition, the SEC requests in the event that the court grants the motion to withdraw the Beverage be held in default of a new attorney does not appear on his behalf within 7 days of the order granting the motion to withdraw. So they believe this is just nothing more than a delay tactic. But again, this is really serious in terms of, again, attorneys typically don't withdraw without any apparent reason. Then it goes on to state allows attorneys to withdraw as counsel only upon to leave of court. And then, of course, it also concludes that moving counsel have made a sufficient showing of good cause and thus grants the motion to withdraw for their attorneys. Now, this was dated October 31st, but apparently after this, they hit another snag because we do have another update just a few days ago December 21st, the Securities and Exchange Commission versus She Beverage Company Incorporated et al. They still haven't found an attorney. And so the judge granted them, I think, 15 days to find a new counsel. And if not, they will be in default, to my knowledge, regarding this case. On October 21st, 2022, Larson LLP filed a motion to withdraw as attorneys of record for She Beverage and a request for approval of substitution for counsel roles in the docket 52 and 53. The court issued an order granting Larson LLP motion to withdraw as attorney of record. And so the judge gave them 15 days from December 21st. Now, keep in mind, we just had Christmas. We had Christmas Eve. You have New Year's Eve. You also have New Year's. And then attorneys typically, of course, courts, they're not open on the weekend. So you figure out of 2 weeks, having 15 days, you have 14 days out of a 2 week time period because there's 7 days in a week. And then, of course, you have 4 holidays that a lot of companies and organizations really honor. They're not open. And keep in mind, Christmas fell on a Sunday, so a lot of companies, I'm not sure if the courts follow suit as well, they honor it or they postpone Christmas holiday until Monday if it's like a federal holiday. So then that's another day that you're behind trying to find an attorney within 15 days. So it said She Beverage must return a new counsel within 30 days of this date that takes effect. That was October 21st. Contrary to the court's October 31st, as of December 20th, 2022, She Beverage has not retained new counsel in this action. Accordingly, the defendant She Beverage is ordered to show cause within 15 days of the date this order takes effect, why a clerk's default should not be entered for failure to retain new counsel. It is so order. So it's up for them. The gig is up. They've defrauded a lot of people. I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, they're innocent or whatever." Then why would the attorney withdraw? Would withdraw? So you know what? Actually, that has me curious. Let's go ahead and look it up because now I'm really curious as to find out what are some of the reasons why an attorney would withdraw from a case. All right, so typically an attorney will withdraw from a case if the client doesn't pay the attorney's fees. So I'm sure that She Beverage is paying for attorney's fees out of the people who invested money. I mean, typically that's what they've been doing, is living out of the money that people have invested into their company. And so, of course, that's one particular reason. So that could be one reason why the attorney is withdrawing. Let's see here. There are situations where you get a new lawyer. In general, it's much easier for you to fire your attorney than for your attorney to drop you as a client. But an attorney can withdraw if it won't have a large negative impact on either client if the attorney has a compelling reason. So other than that, this is not a good look when an attorney withdraws from a case. So let's see. Typically, a lawyer must get the judge's permission before he or she can withdraw from a case. The judge is less likely to approve the withdrawal if the client will be prejudiced or otherwise adversely affected by the lawyer's withdrawal, such as if the case is close to trial. So you guys can research this under what reasons would an attorney withdraw from a case. But just a few days ago, too, I did happen to drive by She Beverage just to see if there was anything on there. And apparently they removed the notice on the door from the ABC, the Alcohol Beverage Commission. The signs are gone. I don't think they were aware of it. I don't really keep touch or basis in regards to that. But that is a huge issue if they did remove that sign or whomever removed that sign from the She Beverage location. And then also, too, another thing that I noticed was She Beverage sold cannabis bath salts. And so as far as I know, they have never been licensed to sell cannabis. So you have to be licensed to sell cannabis. Obviously, with all the crap that they've been doing, it doesn't shock me that they're not licensed to do something because the place where the She Beverage is located or their factory is not sanctioned or zoned for the distribution or manufacturing of alcohol. So it wouldn't surprise me if they are selling something that has bath salts, and it has cannabis because it's illegal for them to do it if they don't have a license. And I looked them up, and they do not have a cannabis license anywhere. And so, again, just definitely wanted to keep everybody updated in regards to She Beverage and the things that they are doing. They do have within 15 days of December 20th to show cause, which would be January 5th, as to why a clerk's default should not be entered. So for whatever apparent reason, things didn't work out with their lawyers. I think this lawyer that they've had have been with them for quite some time, but apparently this lady, whatever her name, let me see, what's her name again? Let's see. We have all of them listed here, but it doesn't specifically say if that attorney of record was representing all of them. Let's see, on July 22nd, 2022, Brent, Aaron, Jonathan, John filed a motion to withdraw as attorneys of record for defendants to local rule. Okay, so it wasn't just one attorney. So let's see here. On August 18, 2022, notices of appearance were filed by Corin L. Bell, Stephen L. Gerard Larson, and Jane Harrington Davidson, collectively Larson, stating their appearances as counsel of record for defendants of She Beverage and Lupe Rose. The court denied as mute the motion to withdraw as attorneys of record as to She Beverage and Lupe L. Rose. Larson filed a motion to withdraw as attorneys of record for She Beverage and a request of approval of submission. So all these people here, okay, it was not just one attorney, it's a bunch of them. And it looks like it doesn't say She Beverage Incorporated, Lupe Rose, Tony L. Shelby, and Catherine Durden. It has them on here, so okay, I can't tell who's representing who. It looks like there's two sets of lawyers here. So it looks like there's two different sets of lawyers. I'm not sure who this lawyer group is representing, but it looks like it could be for money reasons. It could be for other things, but it looks like originally the court denied their withdrawal. Let's see. Larson requests to withdraw as attorneys of record for She Beverage on several grounds, including lack of compliance with the terms of the engagement letter and a conflict of interest. So that could mean a number of things, not exactly sure. Maybe there's something else that come into play, but I'm not sure exactly what that is, which prevent counsel from effectively representing She Beverage. Larson states that it can share further information in camera, whatever that is. I have no idea what that terminology means. Consistent with the attorney-client privilege and duty of loyalty. The motion to withdraw additionally states that counsel has provided She Beverage with the notice of the motion and informed She Beverage of its inability to appear pro se in this matter. All right, so She Beverage agrees with the motion and is working towards retaining replacement, which they have not been able to do. So again, the SEC requested to the judge, saying this is pretty much more or less a stall tactic. John be held. Okay, so there's SEC in the event the court grants a motion, She Beverage be held in default if a new attorney does not appear. Permitted to conduct any discovery permitted by the federal leave rule. So, another organization I'm surprised that hasn't really jumped into this has been the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, because it does involve trades and stocks and things of that nature. And so I'm surprised if they don't investigate this or haven't been reported, because that's another federal entity that would love to look at this a little bit closer. But for the most part, just wanted to keep everybody updated in terms of what's going on with the She Beverage case. They are struggling to find counsel, and it could be for a number of reasons, but apparently it does not look like they're having much success in doing so. And so we'll know a little bit more by January 5th, but as of right now, it does not look like any of this is going to trial. If they can't get an attorney, then obviously they would have to represent themselves or they're going to be in some hot water. But this is just the beginning from the end. I think the next step would be to find out how people who invested can get their money back. I haven't seen too many people talk about this situation because there are a lot of big names involved in this, even people you guys aren't familiar with. And if you guys have also watched a lot of other stuff on social media with, the stocks, the FTC, what's went on with FTX, there's a lot of these companies cracking down. FTC and everyone else are cracking down on social media content creators and people getting involved in these types of schemes where people are getting ripped off for fraud. And so this is the beginning of the end for a lot of these Ponzi schemes and things where people are getting trapped investing, like FTX and other organizations and startups. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this turns out. So let's wait until January 5th or closer to January 5th to see if there is an update. Because from my understanding, several of you have commented that you're interested in starting a class action lawsuit in order to get your money. But this would help set the groundwork for this to find out, how many people possibly invested, if there's any money, and what the SEC is going to do to these individuals in regards to everything that they've done. So again, we'll have to wait and see. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll do our best to keep you guys updated, and you guys all have a great day. Ciao. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.